with us. So
Yeah,
no matter if
we're
you
going to
like it
have
or
your
not.
code and your ticker on this network, and you can't stop it from being traded.
Right.
And so there's a derivative, and then if there's liquidity bonding the prices together, so if, let's say you have Chainlink on Ethereum, and then after launch, price bounces around a while, but I bet that over time that these prices will move similarly.
Right.
Right. I think that the Link ticker on Pulsechain is likely to move similarly to the Link ticker on Ethereum.
Right. Just because of the bridge, right? And
Well,
you
because
get
they're
bridge
bonded
and
by the
already-
liquidity.
Right.
And then it's the same code with the same ticker. Now, do you want to pay $100 or $300 to trade it on Ethereum, or do you want to pay a penny to trade it over here? And we already know this answer because they're doing it on other networks as well.
Yeah.
People do trading on alternate networks, and then we're the one that you don't like. Your coins are already here. You don't even have to bridge over.
Right.
You've already got your free coins here. You can already access them by changing one setting in your MetaMask. It's awesome.
Dude, it sounds
well.
it sounds pretty awesome.
Well, that's the trick. That's the
Already,
magic. Is you launch this whole network
Can't wait
with all
to
these
see
new
it.
coins. How do you get those new coins to be valuable?
Right.
But by not letting anyone ever stop the trading, by having the same tickers,
Yeah.
and by giving people a reason to back the value of the things they got free,
Right.
by rewarding them with a yield farming token. It's like a giant vampire attack, basically. It's a giant vampire attack.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Pulsechain Shogun, the clever opportunity. We're going to talk about that. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to get into Pulsechain. We've got some stuff from Ben Armstrong. BitBoy looks like he might be doing his ultimate meme coin, launching that possibly on the 9-inch exchange. So there's some big news coming out there. And of course, we've also got Batias hitting some pretty huge milestones. Batias, the big DEX aggregator on Pulsechain, building version 2. And of course, doing massive volumes through the Batias DEX aggregator, aggregating all the best prices for you on all the DEXs out there on Pulsechain. So some big news. We're going to talk about all that. Obviously, we're going to get into stock market, crypto, and of course, do a roundup of Pulsechain and the opportunities. What is pumping at the moment? And of course, the clever opportunity is where Pulsechain is at the moment versus where we just had the Bitcoin halving. And of course, where we're going to go from here, coming up to 1 year on Pulsechain. 50 weeks, 1 year, whatever you like to think. It is a pretty good buying zone at the moment, and we're going to talk about that. The clever opportunity is pretty cool. Now, if you watch the TV series that finished the last episode of Shogun, and of course, a very clever strategy was played out in that, a very ruthless one, but nevertheless, a very clever strategy. And of course, that's what we're going to get into here on the live stream. So hold on to your hat for that. Well, let's have a look here. We got Lies Beneath the Truth says, hello, how are you? Very good. We got Hex, PLS, PLXX, and Center for the Win, 100%. That is the golden crypto strategy of this channel. And now I think couldn't be even better for buying zone. We're going to talk about that when we get to the Pulsechain chart. Wookie's in the house there. Wookie is all show and no gun. That is Wookie. He's got no gun, but he's all show. And of course, big shout out to Wookie doing his little vlogs at the moment on the skateboard. Looks so cool. Heading off to the beach and heading off to the pool, all sorts of things like that. Very nice indeed. We've got Sandy Beach in the house. Hello, Hex Token, everybody. Hey, Sandy, hope you're doing well. And yes, day 23 of the AB challenge is in the books. So definitely give Sandy a follow and, of course, get into the AB challenge, get yourself fit. We've got Ramon in the house as well. What's up, family? Good to see you, Ramon. Always a pleasure to see you. We've got our Brian, our community leader in the house there. What's up, folks? Good to see Brian. Brian always crushes it in our Discord. Big shout out. If you like gaming as well, he sort of leads up the gaming in the Discord. So check out Brian as well. And he's helped probably well over 150 people, I would say, into crypto and with crypto questions. So he's so amazing there. Big shout out to Brian. We've got Hazel Hex in the house there. Hello, everybody. Good to see you, Hazel. Very, very cool. Hello, everybody. And Brian saying no show and all guns, says Brian. There we go. How about that? That is Brian. I know what Brian meant by that. That is the Discord. Yeah, so join up today. It's $5 a month, so pretty good value. All the information and the best community. So get in on that. That is 16 cents a day, so pretty cheap as chips for that. And of course, if you want to get in the strategy club, that is $30 a month. And of course, that is multi-chain, looking at the best opportunities, strategies, and intel. So get that in that as well. All right, let's get into it. Without further ado, let's get into the results for today for the stock market. Let's bring that up, and we can see that the S&P 500, another green day in a row. So last week was very red. This week is very green, and of course, earnings season is on for the stock market. S&P 500 and back-to-back gains as tech reigns supreme. That's one of the best written titles. Obviously, sometimes they write some pretty bad titles. But we got the Dow Jones up 0.7%, 263 points to 38,503. The S&P 500 up 1.2%, nice gain there, 60 points to 5,070. And of course, the Nasdaq up 1.6%, 245 points to 15,696. So some nice gains 2 days in a row on the old stock market. The US dollar is, showing here at 105.53. Let's jump to the commodities. No, still not showing the commodities. Not sure why they've changed their format. We've got a little bit of news here around the economic data coming up. Treasury yields have slipped on weaker U.S. economic data. Treasury yields fell from the recent highs as data showed manufacturing and services activity unexpectedly weakened in April. The data comes ahead of gross domestic product, so we're going to be looking for that. Pretty important. That's that natural income or production of America, and the PCE price index data, which is even more important because that's the main Fed gauge there that the Fed uses. So we're going to be looking for that. Due Friday, both of those due Friday. Let's fingers crossed it comes down, and then we can get those interest rate cuts sooner than later. That's really what we're after there. According to the futures market, investors now see less than 2 rate cuts priced in by the end of the year, and maybe the first one in September. So fingers crossed for that. It keeps pushing out, doesn't it? All right, so that is the stock market and the financial news. Let's get into the crypto. Bitcoin at the moment, 66,471, down 0.5%. Bitcoin dominance at 52.46% at the moment. And we've got Ethereum there up 0.65%, and that is at 3,221. So not too bad for Ethereum, actually, having a nice little counter move there to Bitcoin. Everything else is pretty much down amongst the leaders. I'm just having a look through here. Tron is up a little bit there. Tron up almost 1%, 11.3 cents. Tron really hasn't done much for quite a few years, in my opinion. But anyway, it's up at the moment. We got Pepe at the moment is up 12%. Oh, lost a number there. So 508. It was 507. So that's continuing to rise there as the old Pepe. And we've got Floki following it up as well, up 10% there, 00019 for Floki. So there we go. That's amongst the meme coins. They're kind of the leaders at the moment. CAS is still performing pretty well. 1.8% there at almost 13 cents for CAS. All right, so that is the crypto markets, holding its course. So really, it's not holding there, moving sideways. Let's have a little zoom here on Bitcoin on Coinbase. We can see the range now. We've just rolled over into a new day, 7 minutes. So we've got a brand new candle here. But this is yesterday's candle, a little tight range, very tight range yesterday. And we're over the 50-day moving average, right? So that's really cool in yellow. And of course, the low of the day we just finished, 65,823, high 67,225. So yeah, quite a tight range there for the way Bitcoin has typically been the last couple of weeks. And we're opening up at 66,600. So not too bad. The 50-day moving average at 64,800. So we're just a bit above that, almost $1,800 or something above the 50-day moving average at the moment. All right, let's move on into Ethereum. Ethereum as well, obviously moving back to that 50-day moving average, currently at 3,276 is the 50-day, and we're currently just below that, 3,224. So we've got about $50 to get back up there to the 50-day moving average. Bring it on, we say, bring it on. Now we have got the Ethereum ETF approval coming up to 23rd, but like I say, not really expecting that to get approved. Up to 25% probability. So not really expecting that unless we get some big news change turnaround. That is 29 days time from here. So could be very much a non-event. And like we say, the interest rates I had in July, probably pushing out into September now. So I might update this and push that out into September. We will see how this Friday's data goes before we do that, let's say. But that is pretty much where we are on the crypto markets. We're going to get into Pulsechain though for the day results for day 347 as we head towards 365 days since Pulsechain launched. And you know it, there we go, 18 hours, 23 minutes and 15 minutes to go. 1 year anniversary coming up. Wild. And of course, it's clever opportunity time to get involved with Pulsechain. So bring it on. Looking good. So let's have a look at the prices there. Have we got a few other people in the chat? I think we might have. So let's go. We've got Brennan in the house there. Hey, Brennan, good to see you. Morning, Superman and family. Was it Taganaga? Taganaga approves your leadership. Thank you very much. Yes, so Taganaga there from Shogun. Pretty good. Oh, very good. Very good. All right, so kind of cool. All right, let's move back here at the moment. And let's go into day 347 results. We've got Pulse at the moment, quadruple 0748, down 5.26%. 75% of the mean sacrifice price at the moment, so heaps of upside to Pulsechain. We're going to get into the charts and talk about that in a bit more detail. Pulsex at the moment, quadruple 0308, down 6.46%. And the buy and burn is at, let's have a look here, 821.5 billion. Pulsex is being bought up and burned. Man, we're heading towards that first trillion. Imagine that. It's going to be so cool. Anyway, we're at 4.04% of the public supply is bought up and burned. And of course, it doesn't include the Power City Earn protocol, which is locked away hundreds of billions of Pulsex as well. Incentive token at the moment, $3.76, down 7.74%. So the ratio, though, is still above 50,000. I think that's a pretty key psychological level. 50,268, so still holding up well there. The supply is heading towards 30 million. We're at 29,870,000 incentive tokens at the moment. And of course, they're emitted from the Pulsex V1 farm, right? So that's kind of where we are there. And the P-Hex at just under 99/100th of a penny, down almost 10%. So that's the biggest down on Hex. Now, 2 days ago, Hex was up. You know, it's going up 2 days in a row. And it's down again now. It wasn't able to hold that breakout. Came right back under the next resistance. So we're going to have a look at that in the Hex chart. The EHEX price is at 17/100th of a penny. Combined price of EHEX and PX is at 1.06 cents. So still over 1 cent. And that's pretty important to try and stay over that. As you guys know, I think that under 1 cent is really super strong accumulation zone. Above that, you know, is good accumulation zone. And then basically once we break past 3 cents, it's going to be game on for Hex. And you guys, everybody has had plenty of time. You guys, everybody's had plenty of time to accumulate the good old Hex there and everything else. So we're going to talk about that, though. All right, so let's get into the charts. I want to have a deeper look at Pulsechain today. So we're going to do that. So here we are. We're going to go have a look at the Pulsechain price here. Now, obviously, we're coming up to 1 year. You can see that's ticking away for us. We just had the Bitcoin halving. And, of course, we got that sell down there. And typically volatile period after the Bitcoin halving, so no surprise there. And we have this long-term angular support here. And this is what Richard has in his charts that he keeps posting, which is very indicative as well. We can see the RSI as well in the, nearly fully oversold territory. So down around the weak side, so we've got plenty for an upside rally. And here we are. We're coming back down. Are we going to test this angular resistance before we bounce off to the moon as we come up to 1 year? It's going to be pretty interesting. And, of course, you know, we could get down to 7,000 here pretty much, I reckon. That could be where we go to and tap that and before we go back up. So definitely we got that one support there. But I also want to bring up let me see here. We're going to bring up the fib and have a look at the Fibonacci. And I'm on the right one here. So Fibonacci here. Let's go to, we might go to the weekly on this one. And that is where we're at the moment. Actually, I'm not going to do the fib on this one, but we're going to keep it here. Let me get real. I wasn't going to do the fib. We're going to have a look here on the weekly. That's what I wanted to do first. So the weekly here is, this is where we are on the weekly. Just give you a bigger, a granular view. So 7,000 looks like good support where we are at the moment. Currently, we're around 7,500. So 7,000 would be a good support there at the moment. And let me just go back to the day. So that's the weekly, pretty important chart. And we're still looking pretty good there. On the daily, let's see here on the daily, we're going to get to bring the fib up now. I was supposed to jump to the weekly first. So let's do the fib. We're going to do it from here and look at how far down we come. So the 76.8, we have definitely dropped them below there. So we're quite in this beautiful accumulation zone here with this dexahydrochidic shape here. I'm just making that up. But we got this shape here, which is not too bad. I thought I'd do that. That's pretty funny. We just make it up. It's great. No, just kidding. All right, so there we go. We got that price happening. So we're in a nice accumulation zone right here and a good support zone. And out the other side is what we're probably going to reasonably expect. 1 year to shake out weekends and all that. Should be pretty cool. how many days away from that? We know that we've got a couple more days. I'm going to bring it back here actually, 12, 14. So, what we got there, the 28th of April there. Is that 50 days to 50 weeks, sorry, to week out to get rid of weekends? Or is it going to be 1 year, which is kind of where I'm sitting on the 1 year mark there. So a good time to accumulate in here is the way I see it. So that is Pulse. Pulsex, pretty similar story, but stronger actually on the Pulse chart relative to the support line though. But here we are at 3,085. Pretty important that we hold that. I guess we got the next support level is 2,400. We have bounced on that already. So that if we did come down on that 7,000 Pulse, then maybe down to 2,400 here on the old Pulsex. And incentive token, let's look at the ratio to Pulse. It's not looking too bad either. So what do we got here? 50,267, holding pretty strong is the old incentive token. Very bullish about that. P-Hex at the moment, accumulation zone. You can see under the orange line there, really strong accumulation zone here. You can see it for itself. I mean, the chart's very self-explanatory. Every time it goes under, accumulate, and then you get these breakouts. Eventually, it's going to break out and go up to the right. So it's not going to come back down here again below this 2 cents. And so a good accumulation zone here at the moment, big time. Let's go to the weekly here on the Hex chart here. There's Hex on Pulsechain, of course, and we've got plenty of room for upside rally. Look at that, 41, 42. So keep a lookout for that. That is looking pretty good at the moment. Last time, remember, we had a breakout. We were down here at 38. We're also down here at 41. So just looks like a breakout's coming up. Plus, we've got 18, 19 days till that full year for Pulsechain. So looking very nice indeed on these charts. Look at that one. The other previous one, we're also around 39, 39 here as well, 38, 39, and of course now at 41. So I think looking pretty good there for good old purchase of the old Hex on Pulsechain. EHEX, of course, will be dragged up, and it's got really little resistance until it gets to 0.7 of a penny. So lots of potential upside for that, for the market, and that's 300% sitting right there. 300%. Who wants 300%? Put your hand up. Put your hand up. All right. So there we go. So there's two different ways, right? There's a couple of different, let's say there's 2 ways. One, you can try and pick that 1 in 5 coin that does like a 10,000x, right? In a bull market, and there are definitely some candidates out there. We know that dog token from on Bitcoin is probably going to be a good candidate for that. But then, of course, which is about to launch any time now, I think today sometime. Then, of course, we've got the other way is trying to do X's on X's, right? You get a 3X here, you put that in another one, you get another 3X somewhere else, and then before you know it, you're up 9X, etc. And you do that repeatedly. And that's another way of getting the big X returns, right? If you're very good at picking your next steps, as it were, your next investments. So that's another way. So there we are on EHEX. Let's go to PHEX and EHEX combined. This combined price, we're sitting at the bottom of the range, just over 1 cent. And of course, the top of the range there is 3 cents. So some nice gains in there, just sitting back and just waiting for that to happen. We've seen it happen time and time again. But once we do break that 3 cents combined, it's off to the races. So just remember that, and especially when we're on that full-on bull market mode. We've had kind of our first bull market phase. Now we're waiting for that second one, which may happen in the next month or two. So keep a lookout for that. All right, that is the kind of the main gold and cryptos from Richard Hart. Let's look at the gas prices. 400,000 beats, so about 2x what we normally have. Normally around 200,000 or so. We haven't had that for a little while because we've been quite activist at the moment. 1 cent for a Pulsex swap, 600 of a penny for a Pulse coin transfer, 2/10 for a PRC20 transfer. Gwei on Ethereum has been pretty low lately after having such a high period during March and so forth. We're at 8 Gwei at the moment, and of course Pulsechain is still 840 times cheaper than Ethereum. So it might cost you 1 cent for a Pulsex swap, but up to $9.18 for a Uniswap on Ethereum. So there we go. Always like talking about that. Let's go to the validators. Have a look at the validators at the moment. 49,188 validators on Pulsechain. We've got 1.57 trillion off the market, locked away. And the bridge today, let's see what that is. 116.5 million. I think we're down about $2 million there on the bridge. So that is signaling that accumulation zone that we've got at the bottom there. And just another key metric that we are watching. So we're going to watch for the reversal of course, of this bridge funds. Stay tuned for that. And of course, with 20 days to go, 19 days, there's a day to go to the 1 year anniversary. It's going to be a fun time ahead of us. So diamond hands, hodl, accumulate. And of course, Pulsechain for the win. The clever opportunity on Pulsechain is right now, I think, accumulating right now. So get on to it. All right, let's see how we're going. Let's go. We're going to get into some of the other charts. Before we do, though, let's catch up in the chat, see if anyone else is in here. No one else, but Brian did want to say that the Strategy Club is $35 a month, not $30 a month, as I said it. So check that out. That's in the links right there if you want to join up Strategy Club, or if you just want to join Pulsechain and the Hex Discord, that's $5 a month. How about that? 16 cents a day, as we say. All right, let's get into the rest of the markets. So the derivatives of Hex, of course, Icosa, Hedron. Now, Hedron, of course, if you've got Hex miners, you do earn Hedron for that every day. So it's kind of nice, a 1-to-1. At the moment, they're all down. So I think we had them up, some of them up yesterday. We've got Hedron on Ethereum and is doing pretty well. So Hedron is up 3.6%, and Icosa on Hedron is up 5.6%, but Pulsechain is both down. Let's go to influencer coins. These have kind of been some of the big value that has been pushing Pulsechain's volume and excitement has been the influencer coins, Access Alive, Randy Alaski, Crispy Man, and of course a few others here. So at the moment, let's have a look at some of these. The only standout today is Hexy Bastards. Paul Pleb is up 42%, so congratulations if you're holding that. And Crispy Man's is up 0.5%. Everything else is pretty much down at the moment. Now, Ben V1, funnily enough, Ben V1 is this little copy that copied over to Pulsechain on the 10th of May. That was when the snapshot was, of course. On the 12th of May, we had the launch. And then we've got here the price of BitBoy Ben Armstrong V1. Now, he was talking about launching a V2 in a previous stream, but today it's all on X that he is talking about launching a meme coin on Pulsechain, particularly through the 9-inch exchange there, possibly with a BBC token incentive, as he was dialoguing with Hexy Bastard about that. So keep a keen eye out on that. Follow Ben Armstrong. Don't miss that gravy train. That could be absolutely huge. And of course, we're always looking for opportunities, right? Got to be the clever opportunity. And some of the meme coins, particularly if they're backed by big influencers, and obviously Ben Armstrong used to be the biggest of them all. He's rebuilding that following, of course. And but that is the hot stuff. So if you're looking at a hot tip today, that is the hot tip. Ben Armstrong going to be launching a meme coin. He thinks it's the best one, the best idea out there for a meme coin. So at least in a certain genre, I won't get into it. We're a family channel, but definitely check that out if you want to follow up that and see what happens there. Might be launching in a couple of weeks. Who knows? So, but it's very close. That he talked about it, but not financial advice. Do your own due diligence, all that good stuff. But there we are. There's the tip of the day. All right. So that is pretty cool. Let's jump over to see stable coins. Now we've got PDI on the move, really. I think PDI is back on the move here. And let's have a look at the chart for PDI. This is the weekly chart for PDI, but look at that. Woo! It's over 7/10 of a penny again. It's still holding the uptrend very solid in there. And it's going to go for that 1 cent mark, right? 1 cent. That's right here, 1 cent right here. So that is on the table. Let's put a little line here for 1 cent. I thought I had one, but we'll do one for that. So there's 1 cent. And of course, getting very close. It got pretty close 4 weeks ago. Let's see if it can do it soon. But I think it's going to be quite aggressive, as it always does. You know, you get these aggressive pumps. Look at that in a week. That's a weekly pumps. And all that's all you need now is one of these green pumps, and over we go, and it's game on, right? Once 1 cent happens there, it'll be a bit of a psychological challenge, but I think the fact that we got so close and actually didn't get over it, we got to 91/100th of a penny, means that when we do get over it, we've got a better chance of holding it, right? Support. It's going to be quite an interesting battleground, but I would say to the upside this time. And then once you do that, once you get support over 1 cent, you're talking about 10 cents coming into view, right? This is the way it goes. So we'll see how we get on there. Might get a bit of resistance at 2 or 3 cents, and then game on for the attack of 10 cents. And then obviously 10 cents, people start talking about $1, right? Peaking to $1 on PDI. So let's see how this journey goes. Certainly a great narrative, fun narrative. And of course, if you're into the maker theory, then this all makes sense to you, right? It all makes sense. So let's see how that goes. On PDI, that's going to drag up USDC and USD Tether on Pulsechain as well. Both of those are currently, between 4/10 and 5.5 a penny, basically, at the moment on those ones. All right, I can still see that Coast is still discounted to peg 75 cents. We're still waiting for Coast to get their services back up and running. So that is something for the weeks ahead of us. And of course, USDL and PXDC are both pretty close to peg, so they're doing pretty well. Particularly Power City is pretty much a $1 peg there, and USDL just about a cent below. So there we go. That is pretty much some of those. We're going to have a look at Wrap Bitcoin. Wrap Bitcoin still holding up pretty quickly, pretty well there, I should say, for the top PRC20s, $283. Still holding there, especially after Richard Hart's tweet a couple of weeks ago about PDI and Wrap Bitcoin. Still holding up pretty strong there at $283. That's if that continues like this, that's set for another move higher, right? And I did say this, many times. It's going to be interesting to see Wrap Bitcoin on Pulsechain, which is, it's just its own shared narrative, right? Just like any meme coin, anything else. Will it continue to, outpace the actual Bitcoin rise and do many, many X's? It's going to be fun to see. And so far, so good, right? I mean, think about the floor here. We had a floor of $63 down here, and then we had a higher floor of $107. So the market re-rated it, right? It got re-rated from $63 down to up to $108. And then suddenly it found a floor at $232, right? It's been down here. Look how many spikes it's had on the daily, $232, and now it's at $283. So this thing going to keep parabolicking, it's keep spiraling up. It's going to be fun to see that too. All right, let's get into the rest of the coins. Let's go from here. We're going to get into what's hot today. Before we do that, though, let's see if anyone else has jumped in the chat there. Let's have a look. Any other comments? We've got Sandy there, says PDI to $1. It does look even more likely, yeah. Well, 1 cent's our first target, that's for sure. Wookie says our chart guy has improved now that he has no Shogun son. No show son? No show son. That's very fun. Very funny there, Wookie. I get that. All right, so let's bring that up and let's go for the gold. What has been the best performer today out of all the new coins? Well, as you guys know, financial advice here. We're just looking at what's hot at the moment on Pulsechain today. There's lots of coins that get issued every day, and they pump. So let's have a look at this one, Wojak here. Let's have a look at this coin. Wojak, they just launched. Let's see how long ago. Well, there we go, only a few hours ago. Let's do it on the hourly charts. It's a bit easier to follow the hourly. So what's that, about 7 hours ago? 7 hours ago, Wojak launched. It's got $7,800 of liquidity, so pretty small, 24K market cap. It does seem to have a website. Let's see where that goes. WojakPulse.com does seem to have a website there. Buy token. So, yep, that's got something there. It's got a X account as well. Let's have a quick look at that. 17 followers. So there's one of these new coins that launch all the time. So there we go. LP burnt, no tax. CA are announced. Same dev behind Lambo. Give it a bit of a background there. That is that token. So that's just launched. Let's see what else has gone there. We've got some quick intel there. No honeypot tax, no unknown and ownership renounced. Well, they said that they've got none of these things, but you have to double check yourself. But there we go. That is up there at the moment. It's a new one. Let's see what else there. Tang Network TV. Also like Tangang up to another token. How many tokens these guys going to make? It's pretty crazy, but that's up 298%. The whole idea of this is, of course, to make new tokens and pump them, I guess, is the idea, and have a whole ton of those. So there we go. We've got TNT up at the moment, and this has been going for quite a few hours here, as you can see. In fact, how old is this? 2 days and 23 hours. That's how long it's been going. We've got 39K liquidity, 232K market cap. Looks like it's just starting to take you off here in the hourly for this one. Let's see what the website looks like. Let's have a quick look at this. Tangang.life. It is another Tangang thing here. Launching very soon, it says. Well, it looks, I don't know what's launching as the DApp. But definitely is up and running already on the chart. So that is doing okay there. What else there? Crow is up 36%. What else there? DWB is doing pretty well, up 27%. Nana is up there to 23%. P-Drip is up 20% there. Let's have a look at P-Drip here. I think it's been a while since we looked at this. Let's have a look at P-Drip. We'll go to the weekly on P-Drip since it's been around for a while. And yeah, I remember when it got up to this top here, peaked up at $90 on that spike. It's having a quite, this is on the weekly. It's now got a weekly green candle, first one for quite a while on the old P-Drip there. And of course, let's have a good quick look at the website on P-Drip. There is ticking away there. At the moment, it's got the old treasury. It's got the old garden. I haven't been following this that much, so don't be careful out there. But it's currently making a bit of a move higher. Probably not going to stay up in my anticipation. So be careful out there. Cream is up 18%. Chitin, which just launched recently, that's up 16% again. Let's have a quick look at that one. See how that is going. Yeah, that's looking much better, isn't it? That's the weekly there. Let's go to the daily. Have a look at that chart. So that's looking pretty good on the daily. 227K liquidity, 1.7 million market cap there. Let's have a quick look at the website. Chitin there. It's a much better website, isn't it? It's got tokenomics, roadmap, a lot full of stuff here. Straight from the vaults of viral, say goodbye, blah, blah, blah. It's got a few other things on there. Actually, it's not too bad, is it, for a setup there. No founders allocation, no tax, no pre-sale. There we are. They've got a couple of roadmaps there. Meme vibe, hodl, meme takeover. That's kind of the play there. So that's a bit of fun, that one. All right. So that is Chitin or Cheatin there. It's up pretty nicely, 15%. TDB holding up as well, 11%. So we are getting a few of these DWB, TDB and things like that performing pretty well. Probably performing pretty well versus Pulsechain as well. So if you want to take a bit more risk, there's definitely opportunity. Let's go down further here. Those are all the ones over 10%. Those are the ones I typically look at. We've got about 22.6 million volume today. So it's still on the low side. The on Pulsechain probably twice as much as we did when we really bottomed out in Pulsechain, around 10 million, if I remember rightly. So we're at about 22.6 at the moment. When these influencer coins that we talked about earlier were launching, I think we got up to like 60, 80 million, didn't we, for a little while, with some big money coming in, turning that over. We got 257,000 transactions at the moment. I think we've got about around 14,000 active users a day on Pulsechain. So spread the word out there, get the community. It plays a big role in spreading the word and getting more users over. So tell your friends to come over. There's lots of opportunities, particularly around the meme coin space at the moment. And as you guys know, I think there's going to be more space around the PZen. I think PZen and Zen's going to be a lot more opportunity there when X1 comes to launch. Definitely worth checking out. Let's have a quick look at PZen while we're here. I'm missing out quite a few charts here that are not as highly performing. We've got PZen at the moment and a PDXN. They're both down 5% and 9%, but keep a lookout for those because the NXD is launching on the 28th, which is only 4 days away. So NXD is launching on Zen, and of course that's going to be bullish for PDXN, no doubt. That would probably give a bit of lift, particularly on DXN on Ethereum. But PDXN will probably do quite well off the back of that too. And of course, then PZen probably perform well too. So we've got NXD, and then we've got Q launching next month. So two big metrics there, and of course X1 getting very close by the day. So PZen likely to do very bullish as well. Rather than minting, some people are buying. So there we go. A few little tips there. So some of the smart play, right? Some of the clever opportunities on Pulsechain. You just got to follow the right narratives, right? Some of the clever meme teams, maybe some like the Tang Gang or some of the big influencers like Axis and Randy Olasky. There's some different teams you can follow to try and gain value that way. Other ones, of course, are following related chains like X1 that you can get into on PZen. So there are some clever opportunities on Pulsechain that you can follow to try and make those mad gains, even in a down market while Pulsechain's still waiting for that big mega run. And of course, we're still in accumulation for Richard Heart tokens. So there we are. There's 3 or 4 nice little Easter eggs there, plus the tip of the day being the Ben Armstrong coin coming up. So I hope you guys enjoyed some of that there, and pretty cool. Now, meanwhile, obviously with the markets, we've got Proteus, which is our big DEX aggregator. I told you I was going to talk about that. Now, they put out a cool post here just a couple hours ago. But what I really wanted to highlight was now the same humility. We are working on V2 upgrade for Proteus. And of course, in fast move, Proteus is fantastic. I mean, it will route you through all the DEXs and get you the best result. It really is amazing. But when the market's moving really fast, it does struggle because the market's moving so fast. It's got to recalculate and that's been the thing. So hopefully the V2 continues to improve that speed and execution, because it's very difficult to participate in markets if they're pumping or selling off at a fast pace when you can't route that fast. So I don't know if it's going to get to the holy grail where it's virtually instant, but if they can get improvements out of it, that'd be very, very cool. When you're in those times of fast moving markets, you've got to then default to other markets, maybe 9-inch or maybe 9mm or something like that, or Omnis. You've got to look for alternatives, or maybe GoPulse. GoPulse is very fast. It's got less routing through it, but you've got that fast transaction speed on there, very fast indeed. So those are some of the alternatives that you could have if you're trying to route through Pulsechain, for example, or Dex, even the Dex aggregator Proteus. So those are some of the little hints and tips there about fast moving markets. All right, kind of cool. Yeah, the last thing they said, the number of swaps executed on Proteus has nearly reached 1 million. So that's awesome, isn't it? Great to see these milestones. So very excited about that. Some really nice call. I might repost that. That's a really nice post. All right, so that is kind of the order of the day there for Proteus. Let's see how we're going. We've got a few minutes here, so we're going to get into the results for day 1604 on the Hex on Ethereum. We've got the price there at 14.6 there, down 44% it says. Let's look at the payout for TSHare, 7.087 today, so a pretty good payout for TSHare miners. The TSHares are pretty much up 600, so we're sitting at 9,236,000 TSHares on the old Ethereum for Hex. The penalties today, pretty modest, 321,000, sitting at about 65.5 million Hex in the reward pool. And let's look here. The liquid holders continue to go up, but of course the miners down slightly for at 180,149. That's Hex on the old Ethereum. Now Hex on Pulsechain, we don't have the numbers for today yet. They'll probably come out in the next half an hour or something. But Pulsechain yesterday, we got a payout of 7.079 for the 22nd of April, so that's not too bad. What else is there? TSHares were down a little bit there. Payouts, man, for almost 4 million Hex penalties 2 days ago. So that's pretty crazy. And so, yeah, that would be for day 3. What was it? Day, did I say it was? Let me just double check here while we're checking out. Just forgotten. 346 it would be. Day 346 would be these results. So there we go. Liquid holders up 38, miners down 3, 124,000 miners. About 6,000 miners more on Pulsechain than there is on Ethereum there. Hex.com, folks, check it out. Links in the video description. That's pretty much that. So how are we doing today? 37 minutes, and we have absolutely marched through Pulsechain up and to the right. Yeah, boy. So some clever opportunities there. We've talked about quite a few. Obviously, Pulsechain at the moment, great accumulation for the Richard Hart tokens to accumulate, coming up on that 50 weeks to 1 year anniversary, 28th through to the 12th, 13th of May, and of course a great opportunity there. The other thing, of course, we've talked about, some of the big movers recently have been influencer coins. Obviously, if you're following that very closely, you might be able to make quite a bit of value out of there. More speculative, but certainly doing pretty well versus Pulse as well. And of course, we've covered Tangang out there. You got some viral team out there that's creating new tokens after new tokens. So you got the chances of trying to get X's on X's through that method. That's one way. The other way, of course, is we've got stable coins doing pretty well. You can just sit back and see how the PDI theory goes. More risky as well, but the uptrend is pretty strong and seem to have a big narrative there going on. You got associated chains like X1 that you can try and benefit off with PZN, PDXN. If you keep close to that. So and they've got a lot of protocols launching for that. So there's lots of things happening there. So there really is some huge opportunities out there on the old Pulsechain. Some of the DAO tokens doing pretty well, like PGGX and Aliens and things like that. So there's lots of cool stuff out there at the moment. Very exciting times. All right, and the tip of the day, of course, Brian Armstrong looking like doing his own meme coin on Pulsechain, maybe through the 9-inch exchange. That was hot off the press today. So I hope you guys enjoyed that update today. And a big shout out to Proteus doing some cool things. Hopefully we'll get an update from Coast soon about the Coast stablecoin. And that would help the Coast stablecoin get back to peg. I think there's another strong thing there. Now, as you guys know, we've got other teams coming up. The Jacobs ecosystem. He's got TYCZ launching on BNB chain coming up on the 15th of May. That's going to be huge, I think. And he's going to be having the token launch on the 15th. So everyone that sacrificed for that, TYZ, it was about a $1.1 million sacrifice. Those tokens are going to be dropped, and it's going to be tradable too. And then the next day, they're going to have the next phase after that. And they're going to have a staged launch for it, which I think is an excellent idea. And they're going to build up the marketing and branding around that, which I think is excellent too. So some really smart play there from Jacob's ecosystem. Looking forward to that. One of our 2 top DeFi teams, in my opinion. We're still waiting for a lot to come out from Tetra. Tetra is still waiting for a lot of that stuff to come. So we'll have to just be patient for that. And hopefully I'll bring an update around Tetra next time. What else are we going to say about that? Yeah, onwards and upwards, I say. Accumulate. And they're coming up only 19 days away to the 1-year anniversary of Pulsechain. We're also going to have the Pulsechain conference coming up as well. That's led by Maddie Allen, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And stay tuned for that. All right, we're up to 40 minutes. Hope you guys enjoyed today's live stream. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, and join the Discord, either general membership or the strategy club. And of course, get in there and become part of the community. All right, we'll catch you guys again tomorrow. Enjoy yourself and hodl dog, as we say. Accumulate, and hopefully you've gained some insights today. All right, shall we wrap up? Yeah, I think we will, but we're going to play out the Magic Carpet Ride video on the way out. It is my favorite video of Richard Hart's, and I love it. So peace out, everybody. Enjoy the Magic Carpet Ride.
In theory, if someone were a billionaire and they had like all this money, why wouldn't they just buy more of the thing they liked instead of dumping the thing they liked? Like if Bezos bought shares in Amazon, would you be pissed off? If Apple does a stock buyback and they buy more of their own shares in their company back from the public, which is a way to turn earnings into yield for the shareholders, do you get mad and yell at Apple? And so we had to come up with a word for this fan fiction fantasy, which is the opposite of a rug pull, called a magic carpet ride. And so if you're worried about risk of a rug pull, what weighted value have you given the risk of a magic carpet ride? And it's just hilarious to me.
It's fun to watch Hex pumping up the charts. It's left behind all kinds of broken hearts who didn't buy the dip, who didn't DCA. And now that we're on a rip, it's hard to look away. Now I'm not the one to hand out free advice, but as for me, I wouldn't dare think twice about buying a bag, since we're still somewhat down. This rocket ship's about to break the speed of sound. You know these wheels are starting to roll. Best to sit back and just enjoy the show, 'cause we're about to ride that train into the heart of Hexaco. I tip my hat to everyone who minds. You're getting paid out while you're killing time. It makes room for a nice vacation to the beach, perhaps a celebration now that you are rich. Ha ha! Ignore the haters who all called you crazy. You studied hard while they were being lazy. Now you're packing bags, about to take a ride up on that rocket ship, mooned up and starry-eyed. I feel these wheels are starting to roll. Best to sit back and just enjoy the show, 'cause we're about to ride that train into the heart of Hexaco. Now that we're summer bound and the sun is bright, I see that it's not round but rather has 6 sides. It's a work of art that's written into code, designed by Richard Hart to make our bags explode. You know these wheels are starting to roll. Best to sit back and just enjoy the show, 'cause we're about to ride that train into the heart of Hexaco. Yeah, we're about to ride that train into the heart of Hexaco.